Well, Pittsburgh's up 2 games to 1 now. They got a 4-2 victory tonight. Not much I can say about that other than they started to roll again. Pittsburgh scares me because what gets me is this: Crosby just woke up at the end of the last game. Now he's rolling. Kessel is playing otherworldly. Has never played this well. And Malkin is still asleep. So if Malkin wakes up and he's shown some signs and takes over the game, Tampa can't fight back. Now, the pressure is going to be on Tampa if they lose the next game. The pressure is going to be on them to put Stamkos in. Now, the funny thing I find with Stamkos is everybody talks about free agency. Free agency. He's going to be a free agent. He's dynamo. He's this, he's that. He's got blood clots. And this is an issue. He hasn't been out of hockey for a long time just because he's going to be a UFA. He's out of hockey because he's not healthy. He's been out of hockey for a while now because he's not healthy. This is scary stuff. And so, while everybody seems to be anxious to get to July 1st, all I keep thinking is, shouldn't you make sure he's healthy first? Before you rush out to sign him? Look at Nathan Horton as an example. Damaged goods? And it's not Stamkos' fault. I don't, have any ill will towards Stamkos. I think he's a fantastic player and one of the best in his generation. But he has a health issue right now. And all I keep reading is, well, they're working on it and they're working with him and they're going to get this done. And when it's all done and fixed up, then he'll be good to go. Awesome. When's that going to be? There's no timeline. Somebody's getting mad at Dark Souls 3 in his bedroom. But there's no timeline for Stamkos coming back. It could be tomorrow. It could be October. It could be December. It's one of those things. It's almost concussion-like in that it's open-ended, and it's one of those things that can come back. And he's young. So you can say, well, he'll bounce back. He could. Sometimes they don't. I think Tampa will bounce back. I can't see them getting outshot that badly at home next game. I just can't. I think that Tampa's a damn good team. And I can't see them losing back-to-back games at home. I hate Callahan. I pick up players, man. There's players I see they're dirty and it just drives me nuts. And there's Steve Ott, there's Ryan Kessler, Corey Perry, basically the Ducks, Alex Burrows. I'm going to be fair. Alex Burrows, Brad Marchand, and now Ryan Callahan. And I've got my Bruins jersey on because I love my Bruins. But yeah, Marchand's a dirty player. He's working on it. He's getting better. And if they ever fire Claude Julien and bring in another coach, because Julien really controls Marchand. He gives him the riot act anytime he does anything near that line. He skirts the line, and when he starts to cross it, Julien pulls him off the ice and grabs him and gives him what for. And I've seen him do it during the game. So under another coach, not reined in, allowed to run all over the ice like he's the next coming of Ken Lindsman, he's not going to score 30 goals because he's not going to get out of the penalty box. And he's going to be getting suspended right, left, and center. But Callahan's the reason I brought him up. And Callahan is a player that I'm not a fan of. It's funny because I liked him when he started out. I liked what the Rangers had going with him and Anisimov and some of the young guys are in Hagelin. Now they've all dispersed and the Rangers are left with Dan Boyle, who's expiring, Keith Yandel, who's expiring, Rick Nash, Eric Stahl, like Marty St. Louis, gone, retired. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs in New York because they traded away those young guys for the veterans to try to win a cup, and they didn't win the cup. This is why when people say, well, go for it. Buyers, buyers, buyers. We're buyers at the deadline. And it's like, you're buyers, but when you're a buyer, you're not going to get full trade value for a guy. I look at Boston with Tyler Seguin. Everybody, you know, crucifies the team for the Tyler Seguin trade. Okay, they went to the Cup the year after Seguin was traded. They lost to the Blackhawks. There's no shame in that. And last I checked, Louis Eriksson had a pretty decent year this year and was a pretty decent player. Joe Morrow, he's probably a 5'6" defenseman. And then from there, it's been pretty bad. But, while Seguin is one of the best players in the league, where would he fit in Boston? Who do you trade out of Boston? Do you trade Krejci? No. Do you trade Bergeron? No. So he would have been a number 3 center in Boston. Maybe move to the wing. You're not going to move Bergie and Krejci to the wing. So Boston just had a need to fill, and Louis Eriksson fit on the wing. I still don't have a problem with that trade. It's just one of those weird things. But this is playoffs. Playoffs, I got to stop getting back to my teams because I'm Toronto-fying it. The TSN way of making everything about the Leafs. I'm doing that with the Bruins and the Canucks. It's weird cheering for Pittsburgh, though. And I'm even cheering for them against Tampa, and that's wrong because I've always liked Tampa, and I love Kucherov, and I love Palat, and I love Killorn. Killorn playing a great two-way game right now. One of the fantastic, should be in the Selke running. I don't know why he isn't. Kessler's there. I don't know why he is. Kessler's not the player he was 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm not sure why he's in the Selke. It's not like he had great plus-minus the first half of the year. Anyhow. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. It's his thing. So yeah, my energy level's kind of low today because 4:20 starts are kind of brutal, and work's been really brutal, and people got mad at me because I didn't have to stay for overtime today. But right from 4:20 until until my last break, I bust my ass, and I'm really tired and sore by the end of the day. Like, one thing about working where I work in the shipping department, there's a lot of walking. I think somebody's clocked it in that we walk between 3.5 and 5K a day, something like that. So I do that much walking at work, and then I go on a dating site, and people say, "Well, do you go to the gym?" No, fuck no. I'm not gonna walk 5K and do all that lifting at work and then go to a gym after work, because fuck you, I'm not going to do it. Oh, what else? There's something to do with the Jays or the Raptors. The Raptors got slaughtered by Cleveland. I'm not sure why Raptors fans are surprised by that. They shouldn't be. This isn't a knock on the Raptors. This is what happens in basketball. Before you can be the team, you have to get slaughtered once. You have to. I've watched the Lakers go through it. I watched the Bulls go through it. I watched the Celtics go through it. I've watched the Cavaliers themselves have gone through it. Even San Antonio's gone through it, where they just get absolutely killed, and then they learn from that. So the Raptors have a choice. They can either man up for the rest of the series and give it all their best, and just be aware they're outmanned, they're outgunned, they're going down, but go down just guns firing, and come back next year smarter for it, or they can go out meekly and just fall back next year. And it's really 50-50. You see it in hockey too. You'll see a team go on a Cinderella run, or I guess you can't say the Raptors are Cinderella run since they were number 2 in the East, but they kind of are because they hadn't done anything in the playoffs until this year. And They almost choked it out against Indiana before they got the ball rolling and they came back. So that's just my Raptors note. I only watched a few minutes of the game last night. I watched enough of the game to know that Kyrie Irving is the guy who makes the Cavaliers go, oh, I know, everybody loves LeBron. LeBron James is God. No, Kyrie Irving should be the guy that they're erecting statues of in Cleveland, not LeBron. Irving is a beast, absolute beast out there. I was absolutely just amazed, and I'm not a basketball fan, but Irving demands your attention, and he is just fantastic. And again, because he's not the main number one guy, he doesn't get as much credit as he should. But if this team wins, I hope he does. You know, it's like Jordan had Pippen, and in their heyday, Pippen was pretty widely regarded. Hopefully, Irving gets his due. You know, gets his face on Wheaties box, and becomes a huge name for everybody because Kyrie Irving is capable of carrying a team himself. It's just how it is. For all the talk about Love and how he's whatever, I've never seen anything in his game that makes me say, "Oh wow, he really can take them over the top." But Irving, holy Lord, Irving's fantastic. And while I like Lowry and DeRozan and all the guys in Toronto, I've always sort of had a feeling like they're the next tier down from these superstars, and they need to rise up. So, and that's what the Lightning need to do to compete with Pittsburgh. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow night. I get to watch San Jose take out St. Louis. I got a bad feeling from here, and I say that as a non-Sharks fan, as a guy who wants to see the lose in the final. It sure looks like the Sharks are beating the shit out of them. I know its series is 1-1, but to me it looks like the Sharks are really whooping them. And now the games are going to be in San Jose starting tomorrow. It could get really ugly really fast. So, anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to cut this off here, but I will be back likely tomorrow with more information and hopefully more energy. So we'll see how that works out.